Hi, my name is Shamim, and I'm here to talk a little bit about my entry for the World Water Day essay competition. In my essay, I talked about how the water crisis is part of the climate crisis, and I also expressed my concern for the lack of discourse about either of these crises in privileged Desi households. Hence, I emphasized on the need for such discourse, and not just the need, but also the need to decolonize such discourse, because I don't get to see a lot of climate content or content about the water crisis that is catered towards local populations, that is in local languages such as Urdu. I feel like it's important to create such content because that would make this awareness more accessible to the masses. And this is where the role of artists, creators, and journalists comes in, because they can use their platform to create such content that is catered towards Desi populations. Um, Besides that, I talked about how there has to be some reimagining and rethinking done in how we educate our children about the climate crisis, at least how privileged households educate their children, because I feel like children don't completely understand the gravity of the situation. When privileged people will educate themselves on what the problem is, they will be able to use their privilege for the good and set out demands for agencies that can actually enact substantial change to the statistics, which is the government, legislators, policymakers, and even civil engineers and architects. Then in my essay, I argued how legislators can pass laws and introduce caps and bans to water consumption so that there is more water for disadvantaged people who don't have as much access to water. I also talked about how the government can look into purification schemes and can also look into architecture schemes, which is when I moved on to architecture, and I talked about how some houses can be architectured in a way that wastes minimal water. I also talked about how the government can look into dam equivalents, which are basically essentially dams without some of the downsides that dams come with. So I talked a little bit about how everyone has the role in fighting the climate crisis, and I hope you read my essay and find the resources that I used to research for my essay helpful and learn something new, just like I did. Bye!